Good evening and thank you for joining us for Kremta News at 10 tonight. I'm Mark Hanrahan. We start with some breaking news. A plea from the Northeast Tri-County Health District after a COVID-19 outbreak is being reported at a nursing center in Colville. 74 new cases are being reported at Pinewood Terrace after months of successfully keeping COVID out of their facility. Kremta News' Joshua Robinson joining us live now with the latest. Joshua?
Yeah, Mark, 74 cases in total have been announced today, including 22 staff and 52 residents. And Northeast Tri-County Health District says they think that the Delta variant is responsible for this outbreak. 5 residents have reportedly died from the outbreak, which gathered all of its momentum in under a month. And according to the health district, one of those residents was fully vaccinated. Now, in fact, the district is reporting that of the 74 total cases related to this specific outbreak, 33 of them, so about 45%, were fully vaccinated. And I want to read you this quote from the county health district that was released earlier today. Quote, "The Delta variant is ruthless. It is affecting each individual differently, making it nearly impossible to tell who may currently be infected, who may get severely ill, who may only have mild symptoms, or who will succumb to complications due to the virus." After experiencing 35 deaths within our 3 counties since September 1st, we are seeing firsthand that your age, gender, health status, and demographics do not shield you from the severity of this virus. Now, on the subject of the demographics that they just referenced, the Northeast Tri-County Health District also released the latest data on the increasing number of COVID-related deaths throughout their community that they're seeing. 39 of the deaths have been reported over the past 30 days linked to a surge in the Delta variant, and the average age is 74 years old. The range, of course, as you can see here, stretching from people in their 30s to their late 90s, and people in their 70s down here making up the largest percentage at 31%, followed by people in their 80s and in their 60s. Now, of course, this is a story developing tonight, and here at KREM 2, we will continue to keep an eye on this. You can always find the latest on KREM.com and our KREM 2 mobile app. Mark?
Joshua, thank you very much. The Board of Trustees for the Coeur d'Alene Public School District announced they are holding an emergency meeting tomorrow to discuss COVID protocols. The board is considering 2 significant changes now, requiring staff, students, and visitors to wear masks on a temporary basis. Right now, masks are only recommended, not required, and clarifying some of the language regarding the district's quarantine requirements. That meeting will be tomorrow afternoon at 1 p.m. at Midtown Meeting Center. Tomorrow's meeting comes in response to local pediatricians seeing a surge in COVID cases in children, and they are asking the district to make masks mandatory.
I think a lot of parents and school board officials are saying, well, that's not me. That's not our house. That's not our home. And it is, you know, and that's what makes us sad and scared, because it doesn't need to be this way. And the more we team up and the more we mask up and the more we vaccinate those who are eligible, hopefully the sooner we can get back to that normal that we all desperately, desperately want.
As of today, the district is aware that 25 employees and 156 students are out of school with an active COVID infection, and more than 400 students and 40 employees are in quarantine at home pending COVID test results. We'll keep you posted on what unfolds tomorrow. Today, it was the CDC's turn to weigh in on COVID booster shots. The FDA granted emergency use authorization for the Pfizer booster yesterday, and now the CDC's nailing down who actually gets them. The advisory panel recommended the 3rd dose of Pfizer's COVID vaccine to Americans 65 and older. Nursing home residents and people who are 50 to 64 with underlying conditions are also included. Boosters can also be given to people 18 to 49 with underlying conditions. The shot would be given at least 6 months after the 2nd dose of Pfizer's vaccine. Neighbors on the South Hill voiced their opposition to a water tower near Hamblin Elementary School. The city is considering the location for a new reservoir for water, calling that location the most viable option. Our Morgan Traub was at a community meeting against the new water tower.
This is where the new water tank may sit, next to Hamblin Elementary School's play set. Neighbors said this eyesore would be a danger to kids, but the city says it is desperately needed.
We expect you to find another location.
The city of Spokane has known there's a need for a new water reservoir on the South Hill for more than a decade now. After years of deliberating, one of the 3 potential locations is the wooded area inside this school's property. Tonight, parents and community members met with city officials to explain their biggest concerns with the location. The most shared were losing the park, the aesthetics for both children and homeowners, and safety for kids. One parent worried that the tank may break and gallons of water would fall on the children. Another said the children may try to climb the tower and fall.
My biggest concern is of the impact on the children who go to school here, but even more so on the loss of the natural environment.
It is a needed tank in the system to provide for fire flow and drinking water to the system, but we appreciate the community coming out tonight. This is part of our community engagement process.
The tank would be 100 feet in height, which is about 10 feet taller than the trees. It would hold 2 gallons of water and have a concrete base with a steel tank.
The city says a decision could be made as early as this fall. In Hamlin Park, Morgan Trout, KREM 2 News.
Also new tonight on the South Hill, a new temporary location has been found now for a South Hill dog park. The dog park leadership and city decided on a 6-acre site to be used as a temporary off-leash dog park south of Mullen Road Elementary School. The current dog park will close on October 4th and the temporary park will open on the 8th. Now that current South Hill dog park is closing to allow for a new middle school to be built on that land. All right, let's talk weather now. Even though it is fall officially now, the warm temperatures still continue. Let's get straight out to meteorologist Thomas Patrick. And Thomas, the warmest weather yet to come this week, right?
Yeah, it actually is. In fact, our temperatures might still yet get about 10 degrees warmer by the time we hit the weekend. Even though we had that sunshine, ended up being a little bit cooler today. Our high only ended up at 71 and right now it's 57. So feeling a bit like fall, but that sunshine certainly made a difference earlier today. Will once again make a difference tomorrow, and our temperatures start getting closer to those upper 70s. We start to rise very quickly temperature wise once we hit sunrise tomorrow because we'll have nothing but sunshine to work with for Friday afternoon. There are those expected temperatures, 78 for tomorrow, some 80s back in central Washington, but more 80s to come for this upcoming weekend. But next week I got my eyes tuned to the next Pacific Northwest fall weather system. So I'll detail how much rain is going to slide into our area with that weather system come next week. Look for those details in just a few minutes.
Sounds good, Thomas. Thank you very much. Well, in just 3 days, the Seattle Kraken will play their first ever game, and it'll take place right here in Spokane. Nearly 10,000 tickets were sold for this weekend's game, and at least 2,400 of them were from out of town. So that means Spokane's tourism is set to get a big boost. We talked to Kate Hudson with Visit Spokane today, who brought up that the ticket sales we've already seen are showing a rare boost of possible tourists from the East and the West Coast, saying this is a chance to get the secret out about Spokane across the country.
People are coming from St. Louis, Pennsylvania, Colorado, Canada, all over California. People are really excited to come to Spokane, so that makes me happy, and I love that we're getting East Coasters coming in, so maybe they'll see us and realize, wow, this is a great place, and they'll go home and they'll tell their friends and family, and maybe we'll get some more tourists out of it.
But along with the long-term impact, there's also plenty of much-needed short-term impact as well, especially to our local restaurant and hospitality industry. And arguably, no restaurant will see that impact more than Clinker Daggers, who are not only going to see a boost from being right across the street from the arena, but they are also catering the team's dinners for their flight home after the game.
The business the last 19 months has been put you really in that, yes, we're going to do whatever it takes. We can't rest on that. We've got to look at what can we do and how can we do it to make sure that we're a choice that they want to come to, not just for my restaurant, but for people in bringing people and business in Spokane that benefits everybody.
Well, there are some things you should try to do or make sure to do or come prepared with rather for the game on Sunday. You, of course, have to wear a mask when you're inside and not eating or drinking because of the mask mandate in the state. There is also a vaccine requirement for the game. So if you are attending, you must show proof you are vaccinated either through your vaccine card, a photo of your vaccine card, or an electronic medical record showing that your vaccine status. You can still come if you are unvaccinated, but you must show a negative COVID test and have a medical or religious exemption. Washington Governor Jay Inslee announcing today that he is extending the state's eviction moratorium for one more month. That means it will remain in place through October 31st. The governor said he's extending the moratorium in part to give counties more time to distribute much-needed rental assistance to renters. Another big announcement from the governor today, he will not be extending the deadline for state employees to get vaccinated. That deadline for those workers to get their shots, October 18th. That means 2 weeks after your second shot. So if you haven't started the vaccination process, your only option now is the single shot Johnson & Johnson vaccine. Our still ahead tonight, the Gabby Petito case shook the nation, but a new case has very similar, a lot of similarities to it, I should say. How one Washington woman's story is similar to Petito's. And coming up later on, school bus delays and shortages are impacting schools across the area. We'll give you one mom's perspective.